Hi, I'd like to introduce you to our Spotlight on Art 2024. My name is Amanda Ralph. I'm a lecturer in the art department, and I'm here with Paul Gregg, who's also a lecturer in the art department, and our fantastic student ambassador, Josh, who's a second year student in the sculpture department. And we're going to give you kind of a quick talk through the possibilities of how you might apply for the course, tell you a little bit about the structure of the program, talk about what the students are doing, what the graduates are doing, and give you some intro to the student perspective on this, and also a little bit of explanation of the lecturer perspective on this. So we'll just get going. I'm going to start off talking through this slide presentation and explain to you the structure of how you might go ahead and apply for the course. So basically, you need a portfolio for art. The deadline is very imminent. It's the 1st of February 2024. We have a digital portfolio platform, and that closes at the 11th of March at 5 p.m. So basically, you need to apply by the 1st of February on the CAO, and then automatically you'll be emailed from the college and invited to submit to the project days or to the digital portfolio platform. So let me explain those two options. You can apply to the course if you have a portfolio and you upload it and you work on that between now and the 11th of March. If you don't have a portfolio, say for example, you run a course that didn't have art in your Leaving Cert curriculum, and you may feel, okay, I don't have a great portfolio at this point, you can do our project day. And to be honest, we encourage everybody to do the project day, whether you have a portfolio or not. There is information that will be emailed to you from the admissions department. You must register in advance and you can download the brief, but I'm going to talk a bit more about that on our next slide. So the general thing is that you have a portfolio or your project day and you get points out of that. So let's say you get about 400 points out of that, and then that's combined with your Leaving Cert points to give you the total points for applying to the courses. Let's go through the project day. If you don't have a portfolio that you feel very strongly about, you can be assessed on an online project day without the need to submit a portfolio. You can equally attend the online project day and submit a digital portfolio. The highest grades achieved in either will be your final score. So that's why we kind of encourage people to do both. Once you have applied to IADT via the CAO before the 1st of February, our admissions team will contact you by email regarding the online project days. And there are a number of project days, but you're only required to attend one project day. But just want to point out, though, if you're a non-EU applicant, you will need to have applied directly to IADT on or before the 1st of February. So the deadline for everybody is the 1st of February, no matter what. Do be aware, if you're going to do the project day, you don't need to fully complete the project day brief in advance of the online project day. However, it is recommended that you start in advance of the day so you can discuss it during the day. But the brief does need to be fully completed by the 11th of March deadline. So a little bit more on the project day. You might want to look at this address, https://iadt.ie study portfolio guidelines. And I would just encourage you to Google IADT portfolios and you'll be brought to this page. On that page, you can download the brief. You can work on it home at first. We do want you to demonstrate your research and the development of your ideas. And there will be an online virtual workshop to complete it during the midterm break. That's between February the 12th to the 14th. And then, like everybody else with the portfolio, you upload that to the online platform by 5 p.m. on the 11th of March. And we encourage you not to leave it to 4:30 because a lot of people will obviously be online uploading final details on that day. And you'll get a score based on that. Very soon after, I think 4 to 6 weeks after you submit, you'll be told what your score is, and you can still submit a portfolio. Now, to the digital portfolio. Before you get started on that, you need to have your CAO number ready to begin your submission. And all courses which require portfolio assessment must have been included in your CAO application by February the 1st. We suggest that you have a minimum of 10 pieces and a maximum of 25 pieces to be uploaded. Film and video files must be under 5 megabytes for upload, and larger files, you must put them on YouTube or Vimeo and put a link to it. but you do need to make sure that anything like that is password free so that they can be assessed. Again, the digital portfolio submission deadline is 5 p.m. 11th of March 24. And there are no circumstances under which we offer extensions to the submission deadline. And that's basically because you have time between now and then. So there's no reason why there should be any last minute hitches. We do have some really great information online, and you might find it helpful to watch. We have a digital portfolio submission info session on that page here, the portfolio guidelines page. And we also have some helpful tips for how you might photograph your work. What we're looking for in the portfolios is that really you show us what you can do. We're looking for a collection of work that showcases your interests and ability. If you have special interests, like you're really interested in graffiti or skateboarding or tennis or whatever, we really want to know what kind of person you are and what your interests are. So don't be afraid to share those in your drawings, sketches, paintings, performance, whatever. We are interested in what kind of person you are, as well as your ability to make art and your passion and interest for making art. We are also looking for general practical skills. We'd be looking for your ability to draw, your sense of color, your observation. So really, it's important to kind of consider when you're putting together your portfolio that you put in pieces that demonstrate, say, drawing from life that will demonstrate your visual awareness, that you include kind of color samples and shows how you work with color. We also are looking for a sense of research. What are your ideas? What are your imagination? What do you imagine? And some of that stuff can appear as text in sketchbooks, very quick sketches before you go on to do a finished piece. So we are looking to see that. So that's kind of rough sketch work. It's not finished work. And we're looking to see that you have used a range of media. So you may have worked in pencil, you may have worked in Conte crayon, you may have worked in oil pastels, you may have worked in watercolor, you may have worked with inks, so it goes on and on. So we're looking to see that you've considered diversity in media. We are happy to see 3D work and 4D work, and by that I mean sort of sculpture and three-dimensional objects that you might walk around, that you might take photographs of to put in your portfolio. And 4D work could be photography work, performance, video, audio. So do consider a wide range of media. We're looking for people who are creative, who are very curious, who are inventive and have ideas. So consider that idea about curiosity. How could you demonstrate curiosity in a portfolio? Well, it may be that you don't just paint a still life. It may be that you really investigate that and you take an element of that still life and you let it decay, and then you make a drawing of that. And that really pushes the boundary of what you're looking at. And we are looking for evidence of that in your portfolio. And of course, we're looking for energy and enthusiasm. A few tips about your portfolio. Really important to be organize it, sequence how you want it to go. I always advise to put what you think is your best work right at the front. Take out some stuff that you're not that pushed about, but be aware we're not only looking for finished work. We are looking for some research and some ideas. Try to present your work as cleanly and as clearly as possible. Tidy up just kind of some really rough stuff, maybe erase away stuff or tidy it up just a little bit, but not too finished, because we're saying that work can be both finished and we can see work in progress. And that will be very clear to us which is which, but we like to see that you're engaged in all stages of production. If you've got large work, you might want to document that through photography instead of trying to, especially for sculpture works, you might want to take a wide angle shot and then you might want to take a close-up detail shot. Do include, of course, your course and school work. If you're on a portfolio preparation course, you'll be including that work, but don't be afraid to show your school work and also your own work done outside of school. Ultimately, your portfolio should demonstrate creativity, inventiveness, and ideas, and kind of worked maybe around selected themes. And that's up to you to decide what thematics you want to choose. That might be your hobbies, your interests, but it may be then that you approach that theme from a number of different ways. And then do include sketchbooks. Sorry about that last slide. So final thing to say is what we're looking for in a portfolio is something that, it demonstrates creativity, Self-motivation is a really big thing. Artists really determine their own kind of career paths, and you've got to be very motivated to continue working through your practice. So we're looking for self-motivation. We're looking for people who are inventive, who can experiment, who are flexible, and who consider kind of stylistic variation. That you've not just refined one particular style and everything is like that. You're kind of testing, always trying out new ideas. We do consider technical ability, that's important, but actually it's more important that you're creative, that you've got a creative streak. So basically that's what we're looking for in portfolios. Now I'll stop sharing my screen. That's the overview. There's a bit there about the deadlines, and if you're in any doubt about any of that information, please just Google IADT portfolios and you'll get to that page that includes all that content that I talked about. I'm going to jump over to our student rep, Josh. Josh, tell us a bit about why you chose to be at IADT and really what was your pathway here?
Yeah, so originally when I chose IDT mainly because of how it's really open, and it's not very focused directly into one thing, and that you have to focus on that one thing, and you're just kind of settled. I liked the idea that it was just you can experiment at first or try out different things, or if you don't know what you want to do, you could discover it in this college, and that was one of the main things why I wanted to do it, and also that it was really self-disciplinary, and it wasn't. It was kind of it was about you and how you should schedule yourself, and it was up to you to decide how much work you want to put into something.
Josh, did you come through a portfolio preparation course, or did you work on a portfolio through school, or how did you put together your portfolio?
Yeah, so I did a PLC the year before in Biffy, and that's why I worked for the portfolio. It was just mainly just portfolio work.
Fantastic. I'm just going to jump through now, talk a little bit about the structure of first and second year courses. Again, I'm going to share my screen to do that because we have some work online belonging to the first year students. So first of all, let me tell you that first year is very interdisciplinary. Students get introduced to a range of skills and techniques, and they also do two projects during the first year. One is at the Irish Museum of Modern Art, and another one is at the National Gallery. And I'm just going to jump you through some of the images derived from that project at the National Gallery. So you can see that this sketch here is derived from a painting in the gallery, but it's basically looking at large blocks of colors. It's looking at transparency. It's looking at how the picture was originally composed, but done in a very kind of loose sketch style. This is possibly the images I'm going to show you now, because they're first year students' work. You might think of these kinds of things as possibly a template for some of the things you might attempt in your portfolio. And we would really encourage seeing works that are derived from kind of known paintings or works in galleries. So this original painting is just, it's a sketch with what, well, it's not watercolor, it's more like a gouache with some inks overlaying on it. And then the same image is re-looked at again to a version of collage with kind of cut out cardboards combined with different techniques and to build up blocks of color. So it's analyzing the same painting using different material. And this is what we mentioned before about like using lots of different materials. Here's a different kind of analysis using different pieces of light and levels of transparency and opaque paper. So you see the black in the back is very opaque, but the tracing paper here is very transparent, and somewhere at the back of all this is a light. So looking at how light can kind of bring color through it, again, using different levels of opacity in the papers, and then using these kind of block cutouts to kind of create the structure of the painting in a different way. Jump through a few more of these. Sorry, that's just a different one using different kinds of colors and thinking about color theory. And this one is a cutout, probably inked up and printed on newsprint. A little bit of work with projectors. Here's another sample, again, looking at a painting in the National Gallery. And if you're preparing a portfolio, this again is the kind of thing we're looking for. So this is an analysis of a painting using kind of quick color pastels, blocking in the composition and kind of roughly blocking in kind of color, large color blocks. The same painting is again looked at in another way using inks. So you've got tonality is really being considered here from pure, fairly blacks right through to lighter opaque colors. So same painting looked at and analyzed in a kind of different way. And then here's another attempt where it's using collage and to build up kind of layers of color and depth in the painting. So that kind of inquiry is something definitely we would consider is a fantastic outcome for someone. Again, here's a painting of a hamburger. This one looks like it's done in gouache, and this one looks like it's done in oils. You're not obliged to be working in oils at this point, but if you are, again, we're happy to see that kind of diversity of materials. Here's another painting done in the a painting from the National Gallery that students have analysed, and there's a whole range of kind of interesting, complex things happening in the painting. So the way the students have looked at it again, they've built like a maquette here, a cardboard model. They're looking at the architecture here in the background, and they've done something very interesting here with the light and shadow projection through that. So that's a small model that's derived from the painting. But that didn't come so easily. There's a kind of a fair bit of analysis looking at the structure of that painting through drawing before attempting to make that. And then here's another composition based on that, derived from using the shadow and have the students perform to project that in front of the building. Another painting here, again, very dynamic composition and an attempt to study that looking at lights and darks and blocks of color. Again, working on that again using light and projection, and you can see this kind of dimensional cardboard structure that has light projected to it to kind of bring out different components. We see these figures here in the background that were nicely hidden back here in that painting. So it's that kind of visual inquiry and curiosity. I don't want to spend too much time on this site, but again, here's analysis, famous painting, and really using your sketchbooks to analyze what's going on. I'm just going to kind of jump through these. There's a couple of images maybe at the bottom of this that I want to jump into to show you. Okay, so again, kind of studied lights and darks, skies, graffiti. Yes, please do include if you have interests. Again, more analytic kind of drawing, observing things that are happening all around you, simple things like shadows and the way light works. Again, analyzing things through blocks of color. Here's another project using color and just very simple cardboard cutouts, but beautiful sense of color and great composition going on here. Just really thinking outside the box of what you normally see and breaking it down into different elements. Okay, I'm going to jump out of this. Again, these are possibly the kinds of inquiries we'd be looking for in your portfolio. I'll just jump out of that. So second year and third year, then I said first year is very interdisciplinary. You'll be doing stuff with 2D drawing and painting, observational drawing. You'd be working with 3D, doing some basic woodworking and fabrication, and you'd be working with sound and video. In second and third year, we ask you to choose what you want to do in your future what skills you want to acquire for your future practice. So we do focus a fair bit on skills acquisition in second and third year. At the beginning of second year, you do a module that allows you to test out all of the facilities in 2D, 3D, 4D, and at the end of that, you're asked to select what it is you want to do. You're not locked into that for the rest of your time, but we do hope that you stay there as much as possible in order to acquire a professional level of skill by the time you hit fourth year. At this point now, I'm going to jump into ask Paul, lecturer in art department, to talk us a bit about the elective module that students take on in the second year of their course.
Sure. Most of your efforts at the IADT art program will be at becoming an artist. We're very much focused on, each individual's kind of pathway that they'll choose to find a way to become an artist. But there are a few unique opportunities that are available at the college. One of the first ones is what we call the second year elective. And IADT is a diverse college with a lot of different programs, along with the creative programs like art and film and design. We also have business programs, psychology programs. There's a whole range of things happening on our campus. So in the kind of maybe classical liberal arts intention, we offer second years a chance to take an elective outside of the art area. And in fact, we encourage them. An art student isn't allowed to take an art elective. And so there's a whole menu of various short 2-week courses that happen the first 2 weeks of the second term in second year. And the students have the opportunity to select whichever course they find interesting. And ideally, they'll find it really intriguing. They'll be very engaged, and then they'll bring that new experience back to the studio after the electives, and that will help feed the process of their continued journey into art.
Hey, thanks, Paul. I'm just going to talk a little bit more about second and third year. In that third year, we continue on with the skills acquisition through workshops, but you'll also have the opportunity to go to Erasmus to do a work placement, and we also have a new module called Business and Entrepreneurship. Again, I'm going to call on Paul to talk about those things: Erasmus, work placement, and the new Business and Entrepreneurship module.
Sure. So second year, as Amanda touched on, is kind of what we consider in the art program a technical year, where we want to make sure students can gain some strong skills to help communicate the work that they want to achieve. When we go into third year, we start to look at it as the more professional aspect of being an artist. So one of the programs is called Business and Entrepreneurship for the Creative Industries. And it really focuses on all of the sort of the business or professional side of being an artist. What do you do after you graduate? How do you, keep making your work when you no longer have a college studio or the workshops available at college? So we introduce the students to all of the kind of resources, since we're based near Dublin, a lot of them are, kind of in the greater Dublin area of, group studios, things like the Fire Station Artist Studios and various galleries and arts organizations, and the type of professional network that the students need to engage with once they finish their formal education. You'll also learn about getting grants as an artist. And so one of the modules in the start of third year is the fact that you can start learning about the professional end of being an artist. Another opportunity is the Erasmus kind of study abroad program. And I believe the art department has the most students that go out on these exchanges. And it really is in that sort of cultural maturity of throwing yourself into a new environment and trying to shake up your, known attitudes and come up with fresh inspiration as an artist. So in third year, you can go for either one term or the full year. And we have a link with a number of schools. We have students that go to Iceland, that go to Hungary, that go to Germany, that go to France, that go to Italy, that go to Spain, that go to Portugal. There's a number of links that students will do and fully engage in another art program somewhere else in a foreign country and experience just a whole different approach to learning about art. If you take a step back from Erasmus, the college has made an initiative called a professional placement module, which is sort of designed around sort of an internship. Ideally, a third year students might find work in a gallery or find work at a foundry or find work in an artist collective where they can go and, again, see the very professional side of the art world, the sort of, real world experiences that all of us need. And maybe if we get kind of introduced to that while doing our formal education, it gives us kind of a step forward in the right direction. Now, the Erasmus will count as a professional placement, but we have students that are, starting children's art classes in libraries as a placement. We have students that are going off to work in artist collectives in Berlin as a professional placement. So it's a wide open opportunity that's focused on putting our students in real world professional art situations. So there's a number of unique opportunities that IADT has developed, all to, break things kind of wide open so that each student can find a really exciting opportunity that suits them perfectly.
Hey, thanks, Paul. I'm probably going to jump back to Josh now. I know you're in second year and you haven't had a chance for all those opportunities in third year. But you did do the elective in second year. So I'm just asking you, what elective did you choose and what did you enjoy about it?
Yes. So the elective I chose was called Reframe Hero's Journey, which was essentially a class where you prepare a video essay, a very cohesive video essay of a chosen topic. Now it is in context for like a hero's journey, like it could be for a movie and a character that you like, and you're just discussing in a video and what you thought about it, and it wouldn't be necessarily just that. You could do other things as well, and I think it was really fun because luckily for me, I've always wanted to do a video essay, and because I had an interest in recording and audio and editing softwares, so we got to learn about how we could write a script for our video and we can formally speak in that topic. And we learned a little bit, but also we learned ourselves how to edit and do really quite sophisticated effects and stuff in a video if you wanted to add. So I think that was one of the electives that I was really looking forward to.
Fantastic, Josh. Thanks for that. I'm going to give you a little bit quick chat about fourth year. Again, I'm going to share my screen, and I just want to quickly jump back possibly to a website to talk. This is a little bit of a jump back to a website again for first year students. As I said, they did a project with the National Gallery of Art, but they also do a project up in the Irish Museum of Modern Art. And you can see a range of works here where the students are actually based up in IMA, and they're preparing works and putting them in public so that they're engaging with an audience. This is an idea that we keep up throughout the course. In second year, there can be a self-organized exhibition, likewise in third year. And then in fourth year again, all of the work is kind of being driven towards the end of year show. But the way we do that is we start off with a kind of module where people are doing a lot of research, generating what their core content ideas are going to be. Then we ask them to test out that module, where in early January, February, they exhibit in a public, an external gallery. This is an artist-run gallery called Palace Art Studios. And that gives them a lot of preparation for how to install and how to think about a public. And then finally, at the end of the year, obviously, they have their end of year exhibition. And again, I'd encourage you to have a look at the end of year students' works. But I'm just going to show you again how in fourth year you kind of switch back to being interdisciplinary, in that we recognize that the art world isn't all kind of monolithic. We're only a painter, we're only a sculptor. And the way we hang our exhibitions really is evocative of that, where you'll see painters and paintings and sculptures and video and performance kind of all merging into the same space. And this is really to recognize how the art world is. So encourage you to go look at, again, just Google IEDT and art exhibit or graduate art show, and you'll find all of the courses and you'll be able to click through all of the individual students. We're very much nearly at the end of our time now. To wrap up, I'm just going to ask again, Josh, if he could think about, because I mean, it's very different, a perspective of a lecturer, a perspective of a student. You know, what have you liked, or what do you like about, what is good about being a student at IEDT?
Yes, I think one of the main things I really like is just the fact that it's because it's quite small and it's not overwhelming college. It's quite easy to reach out to some people from other courses or even lecturers and tutors that you want to keep in touch with. So in that regard, it's really helpful and it doesn't make you worried or overwhelmed and to ask for help for your own benefit. And that's one of the biggest things that really helps you develop in your own project and stuff like that.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Josh, for being here. Paul, thank you very much.
Sure.
Great, and we'll wrap it up there. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Okay, bye.